deja vu, isn't it? Deja vu. Oh my god. Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to the channel for the second time this morning. Games Workshop just throwing rules at us now. Oh my lord. Oh my lord. We are back at a normally... Well, we were back at an earlier time than normal for Grot-mas, only because we were live this morning at 10 AM for the balanced data slate change, as well as the Mutor and Field Manual points updates, and a couple of other little tweaks here and there, minor in general. Check out that stream. If you watch the first maybe 40 minutes, I think we cover all the major changes. So that was exciting. And as we were sat there live talking about the balanced data slate, the Grot-mas calendar stream was put, the Grot-mas calendar update was put on the website, but I needed to do a separate stream for that one because it's better for when people want to come and find the content after the fact, right? Does that make sense? So if people want to find balanced data slate stuff, they can look at the balanced data slate stream on demand. If people want to find the Grot-mas stuff, they can look at this stream on demand. They don't have to filter through 2 hours of balanced data slate to then find Grot-mas. Welcome back. If you've joined us from this morning's stream, thank you for hanging out even longer. If you're watching on demand and you haven't already, please make sure you smash all of those magical YouTube buttons for us. Hit the like button if you enjoy the content. Smash subscribe if you haven't already, and hit that bell notification icon if you want to be notified every single time we go live, drop a new video, or you can become a member, get in Discord, and you also get notified when we schedule streams. Look at that. This morning, crew smashed 104 members out for the balanced data slate stream. Legends, one and all. Someone said you need to reset the tracker. No. This is we've done today's target. This is bonus now. This is bonus content. I'm just grateful that you've already smashed that target this morning. The stress is off today already, which is good. At 12 o'clock. I rushed away for 20 minutes to make the children some food. They now have sat at the table with lunch. And I'm now going to go and check out the new Grot-mas detachment for Space Marines. I have some text messages from Joe in WhatsApp that says simply, the new detachment is cool. It's shit, but it's cool. I've not looked yet. So I'm about to go and have a look. Boner content, absolutely. Cheers. So we're going to go have a look at this Grot-mas detachment now. Joe's just messaged me, says it's cool, but it's shit, but it's cool. So we're going to have a look any moment. Let me open up the window. Screen share. Boop. As always, we'll read through the article. We'll jump into the detachment. We'll read through the detachment. We'll see what we think. Grot-mas Calendar Day 11. The pen is mightier than the power sword. Wield the devastating power of the warp solely on behalf of the Emperor, mind you, with today's Grot-mas Calendar detachment for the mighty Space Marines, the Librarius Conclave, who are all getting books for Grot-mas this year. The psychic Space Marines who make up the ranks of the chapter's Librarius usually stand apart from their battle brothers, many of whom find their mastery of the occult disturbing. Despite their misgivings, no Space Marine doubts the might of their librarians. On rare occasions, generally as a response to demonic invasion or the machinations of Xenos psychers, a group of librarians may accompany a hand-picked task force to battle. When leading squads of transhuman warriors into the fight, this conclave will enhance their battle brothers' already supreme strength, speed, and endurance with channeled empiric energies, confound their enemies with illusory deceptions, or obliterate the foe in blazing torrents of flame. This already makes me a little bit sad. I'll explain why in a moment. They can wield psychic disciplines to suit their peril at hand, choosing one discipline each battle round. Biomancy augments your troops' prowess. Divination guides them along the truest path to victory. Pyromancy empowers their weapons. Telekinesis shields them, and telepathy lets them cut through confusion and illusion. The enhancements and stratagems have enhanced effects depending on which discipline is active. For example, Celery lets a unit advance and charge, but with Biomancy active, it lets the unit fall back charge, while Fiery Shield helps your units avoid attacks in melee. With Pyromancy active, it also makes enemy weapons hazardous. Grot-mas is all about family, even your nefarious and strange stepbrothers. So that's why the Chaos Space Marines are dropping in unannounced for tomorrow's Grot-mas calendar. If you're puzzled about a present, you can't go wrong with spiky gold trim. Before we jump into the detachment, let me explain, right? I'm a fan of Psychic. I've always been a fan of Psychic. I'm a fan of Psychic stuff. I'm a fan of magic. I'm a fan of wizards in Old World, of Psychers in 40k. I love Psychers. I love elves. I love magic. These things, pyromancy, telekinesis, biomancy, divination, all used to be full psychic disciplines with 6 spells in each that you could pick from when you specialised your librarian. My librarian is going to be picking from the biomancy discipline, and he's going to be picking these 2 or 3 spells. Psychic in 40k. We've had a positive stream this morning. We have had a positive stream this morning about the balanced data slate. Psychic in 40k for 10th edition, they have got wildly wrong. Psychic in 40k for 10th edition is dull and boring. And I'm going to say that before I look at this detachment. And it makes me sad that we have all these disciplines in front of us now, but they're not going to do a lot. It's going to be nowhere near the psychic phases of former glories. I miss psychic tests. I miss denying the witch. I miss all that stuff. But that's a personal preference. I think psychic has been got very wrong in 10th edition. I hope they change it for 11th. I don't think they will, but I hope they change it for 11th edition. Let's check a look at the detachment. So we're going to go into this sea of updates, and we now have to kind of find it. Imperial Knights. I guess, is it in alphabetized? No, it's not. It's Imperial Codex Supplement, FAQs, Index, Space Marine, Librarius Conclave, right at the end here. Here we go. Here we go, chat. We're in. Right, Librarius Conclave. Psychic Disciplines. Let me zoom in. Let me zoom in. Why are we frozen? Zoom in. Do I have to do it manually? Why is it being weird? What is going on? Right, we got it's working. It's caught up. Okay, the computer's caught up. Psychic Disciplines is a detachment rule. At the start of the battle round, select one of the following psychic disciplines. Until the end of the battle round, that psychic discipline is active. It's effective for all adepts who start psychic units from your army. You have to pick one every battle round, but you've got 5. So there's no point not, because you'll just lose it otherwise. Biomancy, add 2 inches to the move characteristic of models in this unit. Psychic units, remembering, right? Divination, each time a model in this unit makes an attack, reroll a hit roll of a 1, reroll a wound roll of a 1. Pyromancy discipline, each time a ranged attack is made by a model in this unit targets an enemy unit within 12 inches, improve the armor characteristic of this by 1. Telekinesis, each time a ranged attack targets a unit, subtract 1 from the strength. Telepathy, each time a model in this unit makes an attack, you can ignore any or all modifiers that attacks, weapon skill, ballistic skill. I mean, they're okay, but they only target psychic units. So you need to spam librarians, because you don't have psychic units that don't have librarians in them. So you've got to have multiple librarians, which means, I mean, if you take 3 librarians in Terminator armor, 3 librarians on foot, 3 Phobos librarians. Do Phobos librarians join units? You get like 6 to 9 librarians. That's a lot of points in librarians. So you're probably going to be looking at 4 or 5 units benefiting max, which isn't the best. Prescience, 25 points. Psycho model only, excluding Terminator, once per turn. When an enemy unit ends a normal, advance, or fallback move with a 9 inches of bearers unit, the unit can make a normal move up to D6 inches or up to 6 inches instead if the divination discipline is active for your army. Okay. Celery, 30 points. Adeptus Society Psychic model only. The bearers unit is eligible to declare a charge in a turn at which it advanced, and if the Biomancy discipline is active for your army, it is eligible to declare a charge in a turn at which it fell back. Doesn't restrict you from putting this on Terminator librarians, which is okay. Obfuscation. Adeptus Society's model. Enemy units cannot use the fire Overwatch stratagem to shoot at the bearers unit. And if the telepathy discipline is active for your army, the bearers unit cannot be targeted by ranged attacks unless the attacking model is within 18 inches. That's decent for 20 points. We like that one. And then Fusillade, 15 points. Range weapons equipped by models in the bearers unit have the anti-monster, anti-vehicle 5+, and the sustained hits 1 if Pyromancy discipline is active for your army, and add 6 inches of range weapons if telekinesis is active for your army. So they've squeezed 5 disciplines into 4 enhancements, and they've given the cheapest 15-point enhancement the one that benefits 2 battle rounds. Interesting. Interesting. Okay. It doesn't say you can't take the same one multiple times. That's true. So you could just run Biomancy all game. That's true. I missed that one. I assumed you'd only be able to pick one, like combat doctrines. But no, you're right. You can pick the same one all 5 battle rounds. Sensory Assault. Command phase. one Adeptus Astartes Psyker unit from your army. Effect: select one enemy unit that's within 18 inches of and visible to one Psyker model in your unit. Until the start of your next turn, that enemy unit is pinned. While the unit is pinned, subtract 2 from that attack's move characteristic and 2 from charge rolls made for it. In addition, if the telepathy discipline is active for your army, the enemy unit must take a battle shock test, subtracting 1 from the result. They're all 1 CP strats, these. Armor of Contempt. Fuck off. Thank God that's been nerfed. This is the old version. We now know that it's not until the end of the phase. It's now until the end of the attacking unit finishes its attacks. You worsen the armor penetration characteristic of the attack by 1. Good. Fiery Shield, 1 CP, fight phase, just after an enemy unit has selected its targets. 1 Adeptus Astartes infantry or mounted unit from your army that is within 18 inches of one or more friendly Adeptus Astartes Psycho models that was selected as a target one or more attacking unit's attacks. To the end of the phase, each time an attack targets your unit, subtract 1 from the hit roll, and if the Pyromancy discipline is active for your army, weapons that target your unit have the hazardous ability. So your Psycho units can protect infantry or mounted. That's kind of cool. Narratively, this detachment I do like, I'll be honest. I'm just sad that Psychic is so pathetic compared to where it was before. Fight phase for Iron Arm. 1 Adeptus Astartes infantry from your army that is within 18 inches of one or more Adeptus Astartes Psycho models from your army that has not been selected to fight this phase. Until the end of the phase, add 1 to strength characteristic and melee weapons equipped by models in your unit, and 2 of the biomass disciplines active for your army. That's a pretty big deal. It's a pretty big deal. You can get your Blade Guard on like strength 7. It's alright, isn't it? Plus 2 to strength if Biomancy is active is quite interesting because that's like there's Blood Angel's benefit. And Biomancy is adding 2 inches to move. They don't kind of match up, do they? This is weird. Biomancy gives you plus 2 to your strength. Okay, I guess it's biological, so you get better move, you get meta strength. Okay. Assail. Shooting phase. 1 Adeptus Astartes Psycho unit from your army that is eligible to shoot. Select 1 enemy within 18 inches of visible to one or more Psycho models from your unit, excluding units with a lone operative ability, and roll 6d6, adding 1 if the result if the telekinesis discipline is active for your army. For each 4+, suffers 1 more. So they get grenade. They get grenade. And if there's a Psycho, if telekinesis is active, they get grenades on 3s, which means for 2 CP they can basically double grenade you. Not bad. Prescient Precision. Shooting phase. Adeptus Astartes Psycho unit from your army that has not been selected to shoot this phase until the end of the phase. Each time a model in the unit makes an attack that targets has the lethal hit and the ignores cover ability, and if as well if the divination discipline is active for your army. So you get lethal hits for a CP on a Psycho unit and ignores cover if divination. Joe's not wrong. Joe's not wrong. That's a bit shit, but it is fun. It's different and fun, but it is a bit shit. It's not unseating the other Space Marine detachments anytime soon, which is fine, but relying on psychic units for an army that only has psychic units by attaching characters, and the units that those attack characters can attach to isn't the greatest. It's a bit meh. It's fun. It's cool. It's mostly meh. Where are we? So let's go into Space Marine data sheets. I mean, let's not make any mistake as well, by the way, right? We're talking about Space Marines who already have an insane number of detachments. So they get like 8 in the Codex. This puts them at 9. If you're Dark Angels, you're now sat at fucking 13 detachments that are available to you. So, you know, it's not bad. Codex Space Marines, data sheets. Librarian. Let me guess, they don't all start with a librarian, do they? Librarian and fibers. Oh, they do. Okay, so we have a normal librarian who can join Assault, Intercessors, Desolations, Devastators, Hellblasters, Infernus Marines, and Intercessor Squad, Stern Guard Veteran, and Tactical. Stern Guard Veteran becomes interesting with the new Oath and the new Stern Guard rules. And while he's leading a unit, they give him a 4+ invulnerable save. Right, so we bang standard librarians in standard units of Stern Guard to keep Joe happy. Librarians in Terminator armor can join Terminator assault squads and Terminators. I'll probably put them in Terminator assault squads, to be honest with you, because you get better strength, power fists, and thunder hammers. That's not bad. Phobos librarians can lead eliminators and curses, infiltrators, and reavers. And reavers are now interesting. 70 points for a Phobos librarian. 65 points for a standard librarian. 75 points for a librarian in Terminator armor. So 9 librarians is going to be about 700 points. 600 to 700 points. It's all right. It's okay. It's fun. It's fun. It can play. It's not like the Assassin's Detachment, right? It can play. It's just, it's not good. It's not bad. It's not good. It's kind of meh. It's kind of where you want it to be, I guess. You're gonna run probably 4 to 5 librarians. Yeah, I think that's probably the sweet spot. You could run 9. 3 Phobos with Reavers, 3 Terminators with Assault, 3 Terminator librarians with Assault Terminators, 3 standard librarians with Stern God. Go. Libby spam is more interesting than captive spam, at least. Yeah, I agree. Will we be seeing Black Templars taking this detachment? Fuck off, Kev. Not a 20 detachment because it'd be fun for casual narrative. Oh yeah, it's fun. Like, it's a fun detachment. I think it's cool. If we look at some of the stratagems that it has access to, I mean, there is 1, 2, 3 of the stratagems require you to pick a psycho unit, and then there's 3 other stratagems that so 3 require to pick a psycho unit, 2 require to pick a unit within 18 inches of a psycho unit, and 1's armor of contempt. Like, I think it's cool. I think it's cool. I think it's fun. I think Joe's right. Joe's message was, it's fun. It's a bit shit, but it's fun. I agree, 100%. I'm here for it. I think the detachment, like for Grot-mas, this is where we should be finding detachments. Something very different, something super cool. Like, I think this is where we want it to be. I think we're okay with it. Let me know what you think, chat. Feel free. Oh my God, I can't talk. Feel free to throw it in. There we go. On colourful postcards, let me know what you think about this detachment. This should have been Grey Knights. I mean, it gets quite strong, doesn't it, if you give it to Grey Knights? Fun narrative detachment for my Druidy Space Wolves. Yes, 100%, Sammy. 100%. I think you could win a small tourney with this. I'm not sure about that.
The second I see someone claiming they get old AOC in this detachment rules as read, I'm flip every table in sight.
I don't think that's going to be a problem, Kaz, to be honest with you. And I think the second they update the detachment to the app, it'll just get the same armor of content update that is listed in the balanced data state, to be fair. An RTT, I mean, the thing is with RTT, Stephen, right? Anything can win an RTT. Not anything, that's a lie. A lot of things could win RTTs, you know. Grey Knights can't take it. Yeah, I know. What the argument is, should this have been the Grey Knight detachment instead of their, like, Realm of Chaos type thing that they've got? Although I thought the Grey Knight detachment yesterday was quite cool. Makes Purifiers cool. I went on the website, I'll confess, after reading the Grey Knight detachment yesterday, I went on the 40k website immediately, went to Space Marines and went to Grey Knights to look at Purifiers and to look at the Combat Patrol, and I just can't take modern day Grey Knight models seriously. They just don't look right. And then I spent some time looking to see whether I could convert Grey Knight helmets and stuff onto Primaris Marines, but you can't lose the Psychic Hood piece. I know we're not talking about Grey Knights right now. I really hope that this year we see Grey Knight model refresh, honestly. I really do. This with Dark Angels actually looks tasty. Why? Can Terminators join Deathwing Knights? Oh, it can. Okay. Do you know what's interesting? You can take inner circle companions with normal librarians in this detachment. That's interesting. This actually isn't bad for Dark Angels. It's not bad for Dark Angels, this. Ezekiel, Inner Circle companions with normal librarians, Deathwing Knights with Terminator librarians. That's a spicy meatball. 100%. If you take Grey Knight allies as this detachment, do they get buffs? Can you take Grey Knight allies? Through Agents of the Imperium? I'm into running this as I need more librarians for Dark Angels. It's a spicy meatball. I've been putting Azrael with Inner Circle companions the whole time because of that 4+ invuln for them. I didn't realise standard librarians gave it. Now they broke my Beachhead Deathwing list with increasing the Alliance points. Entire army getting reroll 1s or +2 movement. Hell yeah! If they've got psychic models in the unit. Grey Knight Terminators from the Imperial agents do not have the Adeptus Society Psychic keyword, so they do not benefit. However, they are still Psychers and so qualify for some of the strats. Sad, isn't it? Yeah, I'm into it. I think probably unintended, but I think for me, the ability to use librarians with Inner Circle companions and Deathwing Knights actually makes Dark Angels the most compelling choice for this detachment. Honestly, I'm here for that. I'm going to tell Joe that now.
In the land of Norway, there lived 2 Viking warriors named Thor and Espen. These 2 friends had grown up in the small village of Stavanger, where they had heard.
They have to fix Dempsey. The download page today is a mess. They should have released BDS before all this Grot-mas stuff. That Dempsey website needs to be completely redone. It's not even in alphabetical order.
It's not in alphabetical order. It's not in date released order. For reference, chat, WC is Warhammer Community, BDS Balanced Data Slate. The Warcom page for downloads is a fucking mess because it's gone recently updated as the big open one straight away. If you scroll down, core rules and key downloads, scroll down, go Grot-mas detachments, it's much neater. It's much neater. The first bit that it default opens for you, which is recently updated, is awful, John. Close the recently updated. I've been using it. Close the recently updated. Use the other tabs. It's much better if you use the other tabs. But yes, it's a fucking mess. But yeah, you know, I don't disagree with you. I think that the Warhammer community, whoever's in charge, like for all the good work they're doing in Age of Sigmar, for all the good work they're finally doing in Warhammer 40k, people have been raving about the new kill team stuff. People have been playing boarding actions. People are actually enjoying Crusade. Like there's so much positive work going on in Games Workshop in general. Warcom's a fucking mess, and the website's a state. Like, that's just a fact. You know? It just is. So, meh. But I can find what I need. It just isn't tidy. I wouldn't mind betting it's worse on mobile, right? I mean, I haven't used it on mobile. I'm using it only on the website. But I wouldn't mind bet it's probably more difficult to find on mobile. Not trying to be negative, but thinking about a new or casual player trying to keep up with this and ad hoc additional rules. So the thing is, right?
Set out to the unknown, ready to face any challenge that lay ahead, for they were Vikings and they were destined.
Is there not? I don't know. I'm not an app developer. So what I'm about to say comes with little to no knowledge at all, right, of how this shit works. So it's very possible that I might be talking out my arse right now, but would there not be scope in the app for there to be a notification section where GW can push notifications to you? For example, new balanced data slate. You open the notification, it gives you a direct link to the PDF. Just straight to the PDF. New Grot-mas detachment available, direct link straight to PDF. I feel like, in my opinion, what Games Workshop should be doing is working hard to get to a point where we don't need to use anything but the app. Get us fully in that ecosystem. Make us just use the app. I don't think a push notification section there where they do that is all that difficult. Maybe I'm wrong. Again, I don't know. I feel like that's a quite easy fix to do. 10 a.m. You get a push notification from the app saying Balanced Data Slate's live. Here's a link direct to the PDF. But that'd be cool. I'd be fucking so into that. But you aren't wrong. You aren't wrong. I think that the current download section of Warcom is a bit of a mess. I think I also think that this is a minor negative point because I'm actually quite positive today. I'm quite happy with what they've been dropping and what they've been releasing. Even this attachment, I think it's a bit shit, but I think it's cool and I want to play with it. So when I say this attachment's a bit shit, I'm not saying it's crap, never use it. I'm saying I want to use it because it's cool and narrative. It's librarians, it's psychers, it's my thing. I like psychers. So I want to play with this attachment. I want to use this attachment. I don't have currently the models to do it, but I want to play with this attachment, which means it's a win for a detachment. So I'm positive on the whole. But do you not think it is slightly embarrassing to drop a Grot-mas attachment that has Armour of Contempt in it after you've dropped a balanced data slate that tells you that Armour of Contempt has changed? We're not talking about a printed book. We're not talking a printed book. We're talking a PDF. Would it have been that hard to go onto the PDF and change the rules for Armour of Contempt for today's attachment to match what's come out in the balanced data slate this morning?
It's like we've arrived in a whole new world. We must explore this land.
Or change all of the Space Marine Armour of Contempt attachment ones on PDFs and don't release them until after the balanced data slate. Don't bring out Dark Angels already. It's just left hand not talking to right hand again. It's a minor annoyance. I just feel like it makes them look a bit shit, you know? Like, people don't need excuses to complain about Games Workshop. So don't give people the reason. Like, this is simple shit. Balanced data slate is for competitive play only, so in casual play, old Armour of Contempt rules apply. I get this so often from people. Hungry Bert, first thing I want to say, I love you. You're here all the time. You're amazing. But let's not kid ourselves that anyone doesn't play with the latest rules really in the grand scheme. Armour of Contempt rules changes is what's going to be played everywhere, even if it's not a tournament. Like, it's just not gonna. It's not. People aren't gonna play old Armour of Contempt rules when it's been updated. The balanced data slate. GW saying balanced data slates for match play only, but everyone plays Prime Nexus, which is match play. So it's relevant to everything basically. So it's not relevant if you're playing Crusade, or if you're playing your own custom missions maybe. If you're playing Prime Nexus, you're playing matched play, and so you use the new Armour of Contempt rules. A product is inherently poorly written if it requires house ruling, therefore the balanced data slate is needed. I mean, let's be honest, the balanced data slate in essence is kind of like a house rule. Oh yeah, BDS is completely optional, but I've never played a game where it isn't used. 100% exactly, this is my point, right? There's a certain amount of dad gamers that don't check online rules at all and only play with printed rules, but they usually don't care. My brother's one of those. It's to me and my A, autism, and B, requirement because of my job to keep up to date with all of the rules that go on all of the time. I listen to the games that he plays and it gives me, I'm going to have an aneurysm at some point. Because it's the things they don't do or the things they miss or the things they forget about. But they're having fun, so who gives a fuck? They are just having fun, so who cares? When do the Grot-mas detachments hit the app? I think they've mentioned it, that Paul, that at the end of all of the detachments coming out, they'll update it in a oneer. I don't know why. Again, I'm not an apt person. I don't know why they can't just push an update at the end of every week to give all the updates. I think it's probably because pushing updates to the app on a daily basis would be a pain in the ass, which I understand. They could have pushed a weekly update at the end of each week, maybe, but maybe that's also a pain in the backside. I wouldn't mind betting. I mean, the Grot-mas finishes Christmas, right? Christmas Day or something. I doubt we'll see the app updated the week after because people will be on leave. I'd assume. I don't know for definite, but I'd assume. We might not see the app updated for Grot-mas detachments until January, early January. But I'm guessing. I don't know. I'm guessing there. Hey, Power Pilgrim, how's it going, dude? Well, this is the other thing, isn't it, Andy? That's 100% part. That's 100% part of my point as well. You know, one of the things I advise people on the most for rules is use the app. 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 Right? Without doubt, use the app. Which means if you're a casual gamer and you listen to because the app is just easy to use and everything's there. But if that means if you are a casual gamer using the app, you're going to be using balanced data slate changes. The new Libby detachment seems insane again. It doesn't. I think it's average at best. It's not. I don't think it's good. It's fun. I think it'll be okay. I don't think it's insane. Because you have to have librarians and units for it to be usable. I think updates need Apple, Samsung approval. So when we ran updates in the past, my previous business, Apple was more of a pain to get updates through than Google Play. Google Play fucking lets anything through. The approval process for Apple is pretty rigorous. Just to get the app live as well was pretty rigorous. Took us a lot longer to get iOS approval than did Google Play. Google Play will let you throw fucking anything up. In my experience, at least. Pretty sure when they announced Grot-mas, they mentioned an app update in Jan. That's what I thought they said, but I don't remember. I don't know. Yeah, I think the detachment today is cool. I think it's good fun. I don't think it's not gonna unseat. What's it called? What's it called, chat? COVID brain. What's it called? Not Gravis. Not Gravis. The Space Marine detachment that everyone uses. Help me. Gladius, thank you, Kev. The amount of mortal Sternguard do versus Oath monster vehicle. They just reroll wounds. You're still fishing for 6s. I don't think it's silly. Reference like attachment. What do you think this does for Mephiston? I think if you're for Blood Angels, so I think Gladius is the strongest Space Marine detachment in existence, right? If you're running Blood Angels, it's one of the only occasions where I think you want to be looking at a different detachment and you want to be looking at Liberator Assault Force. So I would argue with Mephiston, he's still better in Liberator Assault Force. So, you know, I 5+, what do you mean 5+ with enhancement? Oh yeah, with Fusillade, which is 15 points to get bonus extras. Okay, so it's 5s against monsters and vehicles with Sternguard for 1 unit. It's not. I don't think it's game changing. It's not bad. It's not bad at all. It's good. It's not game changing. It's okay. Be a powerful brick, it will be, yeah. But if you're taking a 10-man block, 200 points now for Sternguard, right? Assuming you're adding Librarian to make it a Psycho unit, because you have to, right? It becomes 265 points for a unit. It's okay. Imagine if Blood Angels had Liberty Dreads. Oh, don't, Jace. It's a good unit, and if you've got Pyromancy active, you get sustained hits. It's okay. It's not bad. It's not going to be something I'm like, oh my god, that's terrifying. It's all right. 270 points to pick up a 150 point tank. Cool. I mean, if you're picking up, where's Sternguard? Let's have a look at the maths. Let's do the maths on this, right? Boop boop boop. Let's go to, because I think it's good. I think it's very good. I just don't think it's broken. I think a lot of people see things that are good and call it broken. And I think often that word gets overused. Range weapons. So you're going to want to take really Sternguard bolt rifles, I reckon. You could take combi weapons, but you hit worse. Which does give you dev wounds, but it gives you the AP1 as well. You can get to hitting on 2s with rerolls. So we're going to hit with, and there's 2 shots. So we're talking 20 shots with Sternguard, right? So you're averaging 3 to 4 additional sustained hits if you're in Pyromancy. So we're talking 24 shots. You might miss 1 or 2. Let's say you don't, because it's hitting on 3s, or if you stand still, hitting on 2s with rerolls. So you 22 to 24 hits, right? So then you're wounding, or rapid fire 1 if you're within 12 changes that slightly. You're wounding vehicles and monsters on 5s. So out of your 25 hits, 25 hits, you're doing a third wounding. So you're getting 7 wounds, which means you've then got what? You've then got 20, 18, 17 left over, and then a further third, so another 5. So 7, 5, 30. You're looking 12, 13. You're looking 13 to 14 mortal wounds average outside of rapid fire range. It's okay. It's a 265 point unit to do that, though. If you're in rapid fire range, you're adding another 4 mortal wounds, 5 mortal wounds, mathematically. So you potentially, with law of averages, hitting all the times, in rapid fire range, you're looking at potentially 16 to 18 mortal wounds. Seems reasonable. With and it's, what is it? It's 265 plus 15, 70, 280 points for that. If you've got a full health unit and you hit with everything. You can roll hot and you can go 20 to 25 mortal wounds. You can also roll terribly and go 5 mortal wounds. I think it's okay. If Pyromancy is not active, you don't get sustained. That makes it less again. I think it's alright. I don't think it's that bad. There's still also toughness 4 Stern Guard with a 4-up invuln. So if people start to figure out what 10 Stern Guard with that librarian do, they go, well, I'll just delete it, which is very, very kind of common in 40k. Don't get me wrong. I'm happy that Stern Guard are good again. Right? I love Stern Guard. Stern Guard are like one of my favourite standard Space Marine units because they like Space Marines, but they're fancified with all their tabards and bits and stuff. I love Stern Guard. Absolutely love Stern Guard. So I'm kind of happy that Stern Guard could be quite terrifying with that librarian. But you have to take that librarian. You have to take that enhancement. You have to put it in that detachment. I don't think you need it now. Just bang Stern Guard in fucking Gladius with Ultramarines. Stern Guard, Gladius, Ultramarines, Gilliman. That's what I would do. I think new Stern Guard are good. Whether they're going to become a mainstay, they're re-rolling runes with the new what's it called? Oath change. I know, I quite like it. I think, don't get me wrong, I think this librarian detachment is cool. I'm a fan of it. I like it. I don't think it's broken good. I don't even think that Stern Guard brick is broken good. It's good. I don't think it's broken good. This is what I wish Grey Knights had for the flavour of being Psychers. This is a better Grey Knight detachment, but for Space Marines, isn't it? Without doubt. This is a better Grey Knight detachment, but for Space Marines. Which is sad. Although I quite like the Grey Knight detachment. I think the Grey Knight detachment is cool. I love the focus on Purifiers. I just wish Purifiers were cooler models. How do I say that? Visigoth? Visigothe? How do I say that? Thank you for the 5 gifted memberships, you hero. Thank you so much, legend. Who else has got 5 gifted in them? It's also a better thousand. It is. It's a better psychic detachment for standard Space Marines than any of the psychic armies. That's the problem with it, I know. 100%. It's better than Grey Knights for being psychic. It's better than Thousand Suns, arguably, for being psychic. Although Cult of Magic is still pretty good. I think Cult of Magic is possibly still a stronger detachment. Evan, thank you for 1 gifted. We're going to start the train again. We're going to hit 200%. GK lost their hammers and pretty much everything psychic. Hope they get something more with the Codex. Grey Knights. I had a full Grey Knight army in... When did the plastics all come out? Was that 6th? 7th? I had a full Grey Knight army back then. I fucking loved Grey. I loved Paladins. I loved paladins. I loved purifiers. I had a full Grey Knight army back then, right? And I'm really kind of sad at the place that they're in now. I'm really sad at the place that they're in now because their rules, I don't hate their current main detachment rule in their index. Their uppy, downy, tricky stuff is very cool from a technical perspective to play. Their new detachment's kind of okay, but the Space Marine Librarian one is just flat better for Grey Knights, and they don't get it, right? But moreover, when you compare their model range to the current Primaris model range that exists, it's just a bit lackluster, isn't it? It's just a bit like, it's just a bit sad. And I'm like, what? Why? Hungry Bert, thank you for the ungifted. The train has started. Choo choo. Up to 111. Choo choo. Do you think Grey Knights will get Primaris or just upscaled Horus Heresy style when they get the model refresh? I would rather they took the current Grey Knight kit, Sammy, and just upscaled it to Primaris size like they did with the Terminators without making them Primaris. That's what I want them to do. I don't know what I think they'll do, but that's what I want them to do. I think Grey Knights going Primaris is wrong. I want to keep the knight kind of, the pointy knight helmets that exist. I want to keep the psychic hoods on everyone. I want to keep the wrist-mounted storm bolters, but if you scale the Marine up and keep the storm bolt at the same size, it looks slightly less ridiculous. I want them to Castellan Crow the Grey Knight range. That's what I want. I don't want them to Primarisify them. If they Castellan Crow the Grey Knight range, I'm in danger. Honestly, in danger. But it is a shame. I think I'm gonna say this out loud. I think promising every single army a detachment in Grot-mas was a mistake. And I think Space Marines didn't need this detachment. I think Space Marines didn't need anything at all. 8 base attachments in the Codex. If you have a supplement, you end up with an additional 3, 4 if we include the Grot-mas detachment. And then if you add, even if you just add Deathwatch as allies, you add even more options. Space Marines had plenty of options. They didn't need any more. We then saw a balanced data slate drop that made Reavers better, Oath better, Sternguard better, Heavy Intercessors better, and then they got another detachment as well. You want to drop all the regular armor? See, I'm a big fan of strike squads and purifiers. I forgot how much you get for Space Marines. A lot now. Space Marines borderline horde. This attachment should be Index Grey Knights. Index Grey Knights should be Raven Guard. Fucking 100%, Dave Mack. 100%. Grey Knight Primaris would be the ultimate heretical insult, as it would require a tampering with the Emperor's gene seed. Yeah, exactly. It doesn't make sense logically, right? From a narrative perspective, it doesn't make sense, right? It's interesting, isn't it? How much? What does Castellan Crow look like? Let's have a look, shall we? Is he actually scaled up? He is scaled up, isn't he? He is more in. I might buy Castellan Crow, chat. He's very pretty. Just a Space Magic fan. 100% Zodiac, I'm a Space Magic fan, without doubt. 100% I like Space Magic, which is why I'm very sad at the Psychic phase in 40k. And I think AOS has just got the Magic phase better. By like a lot. Oh, he's out of stock. Oh, I'm at Warhammer World on Friday, so we'll pick him up there. Yeah, I'm a huge Space Magic fan. I like magic. I like magic. Hence Hogwarts, right? I like magic. I'm a big fan of magic. I like space magic. I like fantasy magic. He's scaled up on a tactical rock, looking down on squatting knights around him. I really was tempted to buy assault intercessors on foot and normal intercessors on foot, and then buy strike squads and put arms, heads, backpacks on the intercessors, but I can't be bothered to spend that much money, and I don't think it would look right, and I want the psychic hoods, and I like all the inscripture on the armor. So my option, honestly, is just wait, because I genuinely believe we will see a Grey Knight range refresh at some point. I just don't know when. And my concern is, because they're currently a relatively nice plastic kit, despite the fact that I don't think they look right, it means we won't be getting them anytime soon. Who'll come on a box set? Crow? I don't think he will. I agree, although there are some issues. I really love 6th edition psychic powers and trees, the faction differences. Yeah. You're a wizard, Barry. Exactly! We might, like, we're at 111 members now, Edward. We might actually be able to skip a Warhammer show tonight and just play more Hogwarts Legacy on stream. I'm going to run out of Warhammer stuff to talk about after this morning, aren't I? Let's be honest. Back in 8th, I asked my wife for a starter Grey Knight box for Christmas.
40k is a horde army game, which I prefer EOS currently. Armies are too big. Trajan Valoris is the same points cost as a Scarvan Warlock Engineer.
Who was I talking about this with? It might have been Joe I was talking about this with as well. We were comparing points costs. Thanks for 2 streams today. No worries, man. Have a good sleep. We were comparing points costs, and we were looking at, I think we were looking at Cities of Sigmar versus something, and we were like, hang on a minute, how are these the same points? I prefer AOS's model number scale comparatively with 40k. I think you get too much for 40k right now, which obviously Games Workshop are happy about because you buy more models, and there is something incredibly satisfying about fielding a full 2,000 points of Space Marines or Eldar or Tau or whatever and seeing the whole army. That is very satisfying. It's really, really satisfying. But when it comes to the game, you end up, especially with the way that the game plays, and I don't want to go, you go, I go. People have screamed for this for ages. I like my turn, your turn. I also like, specifically with Age of Sigmar and Heresy, how there is more interactivity in the opponent's turn. But I much prefer your turn, my turn, 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 game done. I prefer that, 100%. But because of 2,000 points is the standard way to play at the moment, according to Games Workshop, the you go, I go system, the my turn, your turn system can often mean alpha striking is insanely high, especially with shooting armies, which means we're now in a place we have a significant amount of terrain on the army on the table, which means we have lots of problems with vehicles and pivoting and all that kind of stuff. It also means that melee armies become quite powerful, and certain armies like Tau are like, I can't fucking see anyone to shoot. How's, like, my whole stick is shooting and I can't see anyone to shoot, and we end up with this weird escalation thing that happens. Do you know what I mean? So happy they streamed the nerd phase for 10th. Made the game better. I don't think it has. I love you, Nick, to bits. You know that. But I think you're one of the few people that thinks that the current psychic way is better. Because you can say the amount of armies with magic standing around watching those with was boring. World Eaters playing against Tau, your shooting phase is boring. What's the difference? World Eaters to have a shooting phase. Big armies works for some factions, but it shouldn't be that way for Marines. No, it shouldn't. There's definitely better ways of doing magic to how it existed before, don't get me wrong. There's definitely better ways of doing psychic phases than what they did before. without doubt. I think the new Space Marine detachment's cool. I'm sad that this is what Psychic is now, but we ride the waves, don't we? Melee is in a pretty shit place right now, which is my favourite. In the last edition, Melee was absolutely king. And then they went, less lethal, but we're only really going to apply it to melee weapons, majoritively, you know? So I've had my time in the sun, and then eventually, maybe in 2 editions' time, what will happen is, no doubt at all, what will happen is, in 12 editions, the game will be like, hey, look at this new psychic phase that we made. Isn't this cool and original? And you're like, we have that 3 editions ago. All right, cool. As is the cycle. When you need to make sweeping changes every edition to make it feel like a new edition, this is what's going to happen. Main reason I started a Druidy Wolf army in 8th was to actually get to play Psychic in combat. Don't get either with Tau. I missed my very brief stint with the Psychic phase. The Psychic phase was... I fucking loved it as a player who likes Psychic armies. It was so good. Yeah, Gambling, you're right. You can't do lore accurate really with Space Marines, but you can be closer. Horde Space Marines isn't where it should be. Just look at that secret level episode from yesterday. And the 4 and what they took on. You'll never get accurate lore... Like, people that want accurate lore representation on the tabletop, I don't think it's ever going to happen. You know? I just don't think it is because you can't. Because if you made Space Marines lore accurate, and they took on how many cultists and bikes and stuff in that episode, it just doesn't work. You'd end up with a unit. You'd end up with building a kill team with a fucking Cutler Blade Guard and a Gravis and deploying a kill team to the tabletop and taking on an army. And if you think, you know, if you think that you then have to change the mission. Like if you brought in lore accurate Space Marines and lore accurate Custodes, well, those armies currently just can't play the mission because you have to be in multiple places on the tabletop and you have to do actions and all kinds of stuff. So then you have to completely change the mission and the game becomes a completely different beast. Melee just won the world champs. Yeah, it's better now because of how much terrain exists, but it is muted compared to where it was. I used to remember running my my berserkers into almost anything and people being terrified of them, and now they're not from berserkers. They're terrified of the master executions. People are relatively frightened of Angron. 8-bound can do some real damage. Berserkers, you're like, meh, whatever. But hey, maybe GW will make Psychic Powers card format. Data sheets become data cards, so maybe having each spell on a card, you can face down your command phase and cast it when you need to. You know. So you know, again, I reiterate, I don't want 40k to become sci-fi AOS. But the AOS team, for me, has nailed Magic. If we think about Wee Man's complaint about Magic, which isn't necessarily entirely unjustified, despite the fact that I personally loved Magic phases, it wasn't entirely an uncommon complaint for people that didn't have Magic phases about how complex and how long it took to get through it all. And actually, if we look at some of the more complicated Psychic armies back in the day, it was convoluted, and you almost had to get to a point where you just had to trust your opponent. You had to trust your opponent because you didn't know what the fuck they were doing, right? It's just a thing. So if you look at AOS, they go, you have to pick a... Right, so it's not... I was hoping it would be more common that you'd have to do this first step, but it's not. You first of all, you have to pick a spell lore. Majority of armies only have access to one spell lore. But I miss the old days of having Runes of Fate, Runes of Battle, Divination, Biomancy, Technomancy, etc. So imagine if you picked a single spell lore, and what AOS does is AOS went, we don't want this complexity, that Psycho knows that rule, that Psycho knows that rule, that Psycho knows that rule. So you pick a spell lore, you get 3 spells or 4 spells in the spell lore. 1 is unlimited, which means you can spam it, and the other 2 aren't. So you can have 20 Psychers on the table, And all 20 psychers can do the one unlimited spell, which is normally not that great. It's okay, but it's not that great because it's unlimited. So why would they make it broken? You don't want it to be smite, where you can just dish out mortal wounds, mortal wounds, mortal wounds. You don't want it to be that, right? At all. Okay? And then the other two are a bit more powerful. The casting value is higher, so they don't just go off every time. Your army knows all the spells, but you can't do unlimited ones more than once. Like, it's just simpler. It's easier to understand. It will create less field bads for your opponents. They then go, you are an army that doesn't have access to psychers. But we're going to make sure we give you a mechanic that allows you to try and deny. Do you know what I mean? I as an Eldar fan, this nonsense that only Eldrad knows Doom, and only a Farseer on a Windrider knows Guide, and only a Farseer on a Foot knows Fortune is bullshit, and I hate it. So, hey. Anywho, this is like our 3rd hour of being live now, right? So a slightly shorter episode today. I don't know what I'm going to do this tonight now, chat. I don't really have anything for the Warhammer show because we've covered Balance Data Slate, we've covered Munitorum Field Manual, and now we've covered Grot-mas as well. So I might vag tonight. I need to talk to Luce. It's her day off. And she'll be like, I'd rather you didn't sit there and play video games. And if she says that, then it's her day off. So what she says goes. But we'll see. If you want to hang out with Vag, who doesn't, click that link, hit subscribe. You'll be notified when we go live. I hate with them with psycho abilities, it's a shame. But I don't want the old rules. We need to find a middle ground. What they need to do is give non-psychic armies something to do in the phase. How cool would it be for Necrons to do Black Soul Psychic Null Zones while it is Corn CSM doing blood rituals? Well, and this is kind of what they've done in AOS, right? So if you don't have Psychers, it's priests. Do you know what I mean? Like, I agree with you, Ed. Give other factions like Tau, World Eaters, etc. something to do in that phase that's narrative and it fits. I think you can do that quite comfortably. Absolutely. Sacrifices, chanting, rituals. You know, I think it's very possible you can like, don't make any phase a phase that only applies to certain armies. Or would your opponent do anything in your psychic phase? That's completely pointless. It's not their turn. Untrue. In your psychic phase, your opponent then has to deny psychic powers or attempt to deny psychic powers. AOS nails it. You have unbinding or dispelling, and you can also then, once you finish your psychic phase, your opponent can spend a command point and try and do something himself. As long as we never go back to 9th Ed, 1,000 Suns, I don't mind. 100%. Absolutely, without doubt. That was bullshit. That was me commissioning a fucking very expensive 1,000 Suns army from Siege, reading the rules and be like, nope. Nope, not at all. But yeah, cool. I am a little bit... I do agree a lot with what you guys have said in the chat. You know, I think that today's Space Marine detachments would just flat have been better for Grey Knights or 1,000 Suns, without doubt, and would have made more sense. Hey, it's cool. I think it's cool. I'm into it. I'm here for it. It's fun. I don't think it's great. I think it's good. It's not great. I don't think it's incredible. It's fun though. It's a fun detachment. I'd like to one day give it a go, but we don't really typically have enough librarians to make that thing yet. Maybe some point in the future. Interested to know what you guys think we should do tonight. All right, let me know, especially Thanes. You can let me know on WhatsApp. But I'm undecided right now, so we'll see. But your support's been incredible, so thank you so much for your support today. You're amazing, especially considering we started at 10 a.m. this morning. 10 a.m. this morning, a 15-20 minute break to make the kids lunch. It's now 1 o'clock, which means we've been going for 3 hours, chat. Near enough. I'm stopping in 6 minutes, right? 20 past, because with the lunch break for the kids, that means I've actually done 3 hours of streaming today. I put it in the overtime right now. Put in the overtime. So in 5 minutes time, we'll be turning this off. If you've got anything you want to say, anything you want to throw at me before we turn off in 5 minutes time, let me know. If you desperately want me to see it, throw it on a postcard. Thank you for the people that have gifted for this show as well. You people are amazing. We're at 111 for the day right now, which is incredible. I'd love a Gravis librarian. I'd love a Gravis Librarian elect man, 100%. Maybe have 6 powers per army being either offensive or to be used in your own turn, or defensive powers. Yeah, so I would expand on the AOS system slightly for 40k escapade, if I'm honest with you. So I think that non-psychic heavy armies should have the same system as AOS. Right? I think it should have the same system as AOS. A spell law with 3 spells, 1 that's unlimited. If you then go into psychic heavy armies like Eldar, Thousand Suns, Grey Knights, that should increase to 6 with 1 unlimited. That's it. And I like the idea that a Thousand Suns player or a Grey Knights player picks 1 of 3 disciplines and get access to those 6. That's it. You can have it on 1 card, like the data card abilities. But I want the opponent to be able to interact in one way or another. I don't want Tau to be sitting there and be like, there's nothing I can do to stop you. I don't want things to just be give out mortal wounds all the time, because I hate that. AOS just gets that right, ultimately. What do you think of the Chaos Knight detachment? I love the Chaos Knight detachment, Welsh Dave. I love it. I think a Chaos Knight detachment is good, strong, narrative as hell. I love the narrative behind that Chaos Knight detachment. I'm so keen for that. So I think they've done quite well out of it. No 2 laws of 3 like Zenith and Seraphon. The problem is with like Thousand Suns, it depends on how good or how usable you make that unlimited spell, and there's a balance to be struck, right? You don't want that unlimited spell to be like Smite was in the previous editions of Warhammer 40k. You want it to be good, so if it's unlimited, then cool, but not so good that it's oppressive. Because Thousand Suns can be in a place where they've got like 8 psychic units. And if you give them 3 and the unlimited isn't very good, then the majority of those psychic units are just not going to be doing anything. And that's getting that balance right, if you're factoring points into the fact that it's a psychic unit, is a difficult one. Have Khorne and Tau have 6 defensive powers. Necrons could be 3/3 offensive, defensive. Space Marines 3/3. Yeah, but 100%, absolutely escapade. But they won't be powers, right? There'll be something: chants, prayers, sacrifices, elemental invocations, things like that, right? You just add some narrative on. You just go narrative sprinkle. There we go. Essentially, it's the same thing. Essentially, it's a psychic power, but it's not a psychic power because we've called it a prayer or a chant or an incantation. You know? That's where they should go. In my opinion. Bring back the psychic phase. But even then, you don't necessarily have to bring back the psychic phase. AOS, we don't have a psychic phase. We don't have a magic phase. You just do it in the hero phase. Which means you can't then move into a position to do a psychic thing. You'd be like, well, this is where I am, so I have to do it from here. I have to think about it a turn before. Again, it's slightly less oppressive. You can move in your movement phase in AOS. You can move in your movement phase to line up a spell, and then, because the spell's in your hero phase, your opponent literally gets an opportunity to react and move out the way. And then you get to your hero phase and you go, I'm not in range anymore. Is this assuming Thousand Suns get 0 detachment specific powers? Yeah, 100%. Take psychic powers off of data sheets. Absolutely. Psychic in the command phase. Yeah, absolutely. 100%. We'll see. Anywho. You people have been fucking beautiful today. I'm so grateful. Thank you so much for your support. You're amazing human beings. I appreciate you so much. You incredible people. Thank you. To be fair, the psychic phase isn't the only uninteractive phase of 40k. Shooting against Tau on melee is just as non-phase for one player. Yeah, it is, yeah. But yeah. Absolutely. You people are amazing. Thank you so much for hanging out with us today. Hope you've enjoyed it. If you have, make sure you smash like on the stream. I know you liked the first stream. This is a second stream, remember. This was 68 likes. We need this one to be pushed by the YouTube algorithm too. So thank you so much, you amazing human beings, for being with me today from 10 a.m. We did bump those sub numbers back up to 33,800. You wait. By the time we go live tomorrow, we'll be back to 33,710 at this rate. We did do 111 members for the day in total today. Thank you so much, you beautiful humans. And thank you for the super chats and the engagement as well. And thank you for just being here. You're incredible. You're incredible, all of you. Best chat, like Lou says, right? Best chat. So, we are now going to shut off for the afternoon. I've got some stuff to do. I've got some admin to do this afternoon, and it's already 20 past 1. I've just streamed all day, basically, since getting out of bed. So we're going to go do some admin. Lucy's just got home from the hairdressers and stuff as well, so I need to go say hello to my wife. And then we might be back tonight. We'll either be back on this channel with something 40k related, probably, maybe, or we'll be vagging. Exclamation mark vag in the chat. Vag, if you're unaware, stands for very average gamers, right? It's not as dirty as you think. It's my other YouTube, one of my other YouTube channels, and my other thing that I'm trying to have some fun with. We might be doing that later. So check out that if you're interested as well. But thank you for hanging out with us today. I hope you've enjoyed the shows. If you've got comments, please don't hesitate to stick them in the comment section below. I read all of the comments in the comment section below, so please don't hesitate to do that. You're amazing people. Thank you so much for watching, you incredible human beings. If we stream this evening, hopefully we'll see you then. If not, we'll see you in the next one.